Okay, this is like, you know, like I will look in the mirror. I'm just telling you right now, I hate the fucking lighting. I will look in the mirror and it looks one particular way. And it do not look like that when I'm in here. So I get onto here and it looks like fucking jankiness. It doesn't look like this. I swear, even how flat it is, I go in here and it doesn't look like that at all. It looks like I hate the camera. Oh, you all. I'm about to put my hair in a ponytail and we shall see. We shall see. Yes, I'm here, guys. I'm here. I'm like, are we serious about this shit? I'm so tired. So tired of it. It just looks so horrid here. Can I just tell you? The camera. Like, I believe them. I believe when they do movies and they say it's all the lighting, it's all this, that, and the other. Like, there's some special magic. Because when I'm looking in the mirror, it looks one way, and I get in front of this damn camera, and I'm like, this look gross. Whatever. Okay? Whatever. Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. I got my coffee. I did happen to go to a, what is it called? Gas station. Convenience store, whatever the hell you want to call it, okay? God, I'm pale, but I don't look like this fucking, I don't know what, pale. Like, it just absolutely gets on my nerves. Anywho's, I better put this over here because I'll forget I stuck it in there. I was getting, like, the word expansion before I came on, right? And, yeah, gas station. I went to a gas station because I wanted to say a convenience store, but like around here, like you could have like sometimes they call it a convenience store at the gas station, and then sometimes there's really just a convenience store. Anyway, I couldn't think. Okay. But like I had been doing some work with somebody, and like one of the things in there, what they do is called expansion. And so I was like, am I just thinking this like crazy? Am I just having this? Where did it go? Where did it go? The fuck? It was just right here. Y'all. Oh my God. And so I'm thinking, am I just thinking that? Because like when you work on something enough. So I didn't type it as the title. But it may still be pertinent. It may still be, you know what I'm saying? Like a part of the thing. But I was like questioning myself, guys. I was questioning myself. And I didn't want to I was like, because like when I tell you like that's the name of one of the programs that they offer. So I was just like, I might just be making this up. My brain might just be inserting shit. You know what I'm saying? So if it comes up, I'm giving you the truth right now. If it comes up, then it was, it was supposed to be a part of it. If not, then I know it was me. But I did. I almost started typing it, and then I was like, delete. So I don't really know where we're going to go today. That was literally it that I got. I am also, and I don't think this has necessarily anything to do with the message, but like they are absolutely talking about getting outside. And like the kind of outside where the sun can hit somebody. So I think maybe somebody needs to either like do a sunbathing or sun gazing, like I feel like a clearing, like something that the sun needs to be on you though. So it's not like going outside on your porch where it's covered. It's like I am seeing, I don't know why they're doing this. I'm seeing somebody in nature, but like moving their chair into a position where the sun is squarely on them. Does that make sense? So I feel like that being very intentional, that you're not sitting in the shade. Like when you need to get out in nature, because of the sun. Like it's not going to do what it needs to do if you're not in the sun, kind of thing. So that's for whoever. You're brushing your hair makes this seem like a sleepover slumber party. Oh, well, So, yeah, there we go. That's where we're at. Okay. That's for whoever it's for. Messenger Oracle. Well, and if you're like me today, outside, sun, where I can be seen, right? Ugh. Hey, LP. Well, see, I'm looking outside going, like, I wish, because right now it's overcast. So I'm hoping later on today the sun comes out. I don't know why I looked at that, but that card said challenge your perception. Let's do this. Well. I don't know about you, but it's always like it comes across quite frequently like toxic positivity to me when somebody says, oh, there's always something you can learn from this. Sure, that's called fucking life. How does that help me in this goddamn scenario? Seriously? Because we've got seek the lesson. And it's just like, to me, that is somebody that's not in the capacity to hold space for you when you are in a negative, dense energy, when you are experiencing something major, or like when you're in the midst of alchemy. Because it's kind of like, it's like, if you can't handle this and you can't hold space, rather than be dismissive and like, pull that shit, like, it's like, well, you need to look at this from a different perspective. And it's like, just like that thing said, it was like seeing something of different. It's like, that's a bit toxic. Like, it is okay to be right where the fuck we are for however long we need to be. Okay. You can't make shit smell like fucking roses. If you throw a rose potpourri on top of shit, it's just going to smell like shit mixed with roses, which in no way makes it smell any better. Just, it doesn't. It's rose covered shit. That's all it is. And when we try to run away from, and the idea and notion of, well, we just don't want to, I say this all the time, you don't want to set up shop in there, like, but there are literally times in our life when everything in life itself that is external to us holds us in that place. And when we are done, like finito, done treading water, we allow ourselves to just sink to the bottom of whatever stagnant waters we're in. You know what I'm saying? Like, people are not superhuman. If that was the fucking case, there would be no point in having a human experience. And so sometimes the idea, like, people just won't allow people and will not acknowledge how horrific life can be. Like, stop with that shit. Stop telling people, like, well, it's just, sometimes there's not. Sometimes people will seek the lesson and try to reframe something and look at it, and there is no other way of looking at it. You encourage people to gaslight themselves when you fucking do that. Okay? And I just feel like there's a sense of like, not everything in life has to be a fucking lesson. Sometimes shit is just what it is. What lesson are the little kids that are being bombed over in Pakistan learning? Seriously, like, stop with the shit. Stop with the shit. Sometimes you just need to stop. Okay? And then there's nourish the soul, which is a little bit more. Look at how this panther is lapping up like the waters. It's almost as if it's like allowing something else to wash over you and then let go of the old. I'm not going to be the person to sit here and be like, take the lesson from what you've been through, because I'm quite certain there's nobody more equipped than you to know to know what you have experienced and what it has ingrained in you as a result, right? Like I don't need to it's like petulance. Like I feel like I am being like I'm treating you as if you're a child. It's like when spirit decides to be Captain Obvious. It's kind of like, okay. So I'm not. I don't care what card fucking came out. It's like sometimes people always want the lesson to be some level of self growth, but sometimes the lesson is about everyone else and not about the self, right? And sometimes here's the way that it's coming across to me. The energy feels like it's kind of like going through something and coming out the other side, not with some new information, but just confirmation of something you already fucking knew. So it's like there's not really a lesson. You can try and paint it as such. And it's like, but I already fucking knew this. So I didn't learn something new. I just reaffirmed what I already knew. It was just more of the same. Because it feels like whatever lesson, it was unnecessary. Whatever you could take away from a situation, it was unnecessary. It's not something that added value, expanded you. It's what you already fucking knew. So I feel like somebody is coming out of this, whatever it is, situation, feeling like, what was the fucking point of that? There was no growth. To me, seeking a lesson is the expansion. There's the expansion of what I already understand and know. And somebody is coming out. I feel like saying to somebody, like, no matter what, I got nothing new out of this. There was nothing new. And I feel like if you feel like a situation and you come out of it and it's like, it feels gaslighting. And we had a conversation about this yesterday. It was kind of like the idea of not letting people gaslight you, and you're not being gaslit by yourself or anybody else. It's kind of like the idea of yeah, I'm just not going to. I don't have to be grateful for what I went through. I forever and always will say it was unnecessary, not warranted. It didn't expand me. It actually added to trauma that I needed to get rid of or that I needed to work through. It didn't do anything. And it's like, it feels like I'm going to use the example again. It's like somebody from a war-torn country coming here and then like telling them, well, they're going through rough shit, right? And it's like, well, you're learning how to. It's like I've already been through the worst of the worst. I already know how to get through trauma. I didn't need to do it again. In fact, I've come out of the worst trauma that any human could fucking, and it's kind of like it was pointless, it was senseless, and forever and always they will not be grateful for that. Because there's people who's like who talk about shit they've been through. I'm so grateful. No, the fuck, I'm not. I'm not. I don't. Seriously, like, no, and you don't have to be. Is what I feel like telling you. Like, we don't have to be. So, but I do feel on the other side of something is the need to take care of yourself, rejuvenate yourself, nourish your soul. It's almost kind of like, yeah. And finding a way to let go of something. It feels like I almost feel like saying it's almost like letting go of the need to seek a lesson. Like, something's always got to be purposeful. And it's like sometimes just acknowledging that we live in an existence where shitty shit fucking happens and there's no grand intent. This is why I don't agree with people who are like, there's no such thing as a coincidence. Yes, the fuck there is. We could be right in the line of somebody else's fucking karma and their bullshit and the shit that they're pulling. There is coincidence. It has nothing to do with you were intended for that, and that because the idea of there never being a coincidence means that absolutely 100% every single solitary thing was predetermined, pre-planned, and meant to fucking happen. And no, the fuck, it's not. No, just gonna throw that one out there to people. No. And if anything, I don't know why they keep repeating it to me, and I'm resistant to saying this, but it's like, if anything, the one thing you've learned from this is how to move on easier, how to let go easier. It's like going through something and it being exceptionally difficult and having difficult things happen in your life multiple times to the point where you're just like, what you had already known was you will only continue to traumatize yourself the more you hold on to something and the more you try to figure out why, the purpose, the intent, the lesson. You actually, and when you can't figure it out because there's not one, you end up just staying in that energy and re-traumatizing yourself and having to constantly work through some fucking wound. You've learned and cultivated the skill of letting go, because you fucking know if you don't, you stay in a permanent state of pain. You've learned to move the fuck on. So more so than it being a lesson, this was like practice. Quicker and quicker of letting something go so that it does not create some permanent wound in your life. Because it's like the idea of, and to me it just feels pointless and useless of like, why do I need to cultivate that as a skill? Specifically, difficulty and trauma. Why do I need to cultivate that as a fucking skill? It's different. Like, letting go of that type of pain is different than letting go of attachments and letting go of expectations and letting go of emotions that don't serve. Like, it's totally fucking different. It's not necessary. Why in this existence, in any existence, should I have to cultivate the ability to let go, like at a central nervous system level, of trauma over and over and over again? What the fuck for? it almost begs the question, am I teaching myself to disassociate and detach from this existence? Because one would think the more you go through that, the quickest way to do, all you're doing is teaching yourself that. So we're in this sense where I want to say somebody, there's no real lesson to be had from the amount of something that, you know what I mean? It just is how things worked out. And when people have choices between timelines and the way in which things can unfold, there is such a thing as coincidence. And sometimes we are in the line of fire. And as a result, that is why it is necessary to cultivate this ability to move the fuck on when we've encountered something like that, because it was unnecessary. It wasn't meant for you. There was no grand lesson. You just happened to be in the path of this energy and these other timelines converging. Other people's lessons, other people's growth and expansion, and you happen to be at that spot in your timeline when all of those things had converged. It's just the way it happened. It wasn't meant for you. And maybe you know now just how precious expansion is. When those types of things come across your timeline as you yourself are working towards your growth and expansion. So yes, it'll be that much sweeter when you get to it. And yes, you do know now how to let go of that, because some people get sidelined not from the things that they need to learn or that they need to, that their soul chose. It's the hazard of living in this existence is what it is. And it will not make fucking sense. And if you can't let go of the need to understand, then you will hold yourself at the mercy of others and the shit that will cross your path. So I feel like saying the number one way that somebody can move through this is taking care of the self and focusing on the self. You. What keeps your fire burning? What keeps your light glowing? What keeps you passionate and motivated and I almost said loving life, but I then I almost went to wanting to stay here in this existence. Like, I think it's gotten dark for some people. I think this is the reason why you will hear so many people in the spiritual community and outside of it that self-care is of utmost. Having your cup full is of utmost. It is the thing that will get you through this existence. Loving yourself, because you can get caught in the crossfires of so much. And sometimes like to save you from a situation would require like interference in other people's stuff. And yes, it's fucked up. It seems wrong. But that's a part of this existence. That's a part of this existence. So, let go of this. Let go of other people saying there's something to take away from this and you signed up for this and you did it. No, you fucking didn't. You didn't. Not everything is predetermined, okay? And your human wants fucking answers. And Spirit's like, As shitty as it is, this is the fucking answer. But you do deserve happiness. You do deserve to enjoy this existence. And the best way you can do that is to learn how. There's your lesson. To learn how to love yourself in every fucking moment, in every way possible, constantly cultivating new ways to show yourself that you love yourself, because every scenario, every situation is a new one. And there's not two situations that are so identical. And so you have to constantly reinvent what this is, meaning that you have to be in touch with yourself. You have to be in touch with your heart, what your soul desires, what your heart wants. You can't be in your mind. Your mind doesn't have a solution. And once you get the answer, even in now, guess what you still have to fucking do? Spirit gave you the answer. Yes, shit fucking happens. Yes, people in the spiritual community have gaslit you to believe that somehow you're at the crux of how this got here. You the fuck are not always. There are times where it is, and sometimes no, you're not. This is why they say it starts with the self. And the ultimate to healing, thriving, and having pleasure in this existence is nourishing you. New era elements. It's like, so you can move the fuck on and get the fuck out of this energy, because you don't deserve to be here any longer than you have to. It's the idea and notion that we can be a victim, right? There is such a thing as being a victim in a situation or circumstance. That's different than victimhood, right? But no matter who's at fucking fault for something, guess whose responsibility is to heal, to love the self? Nobody but yours. Is it shitty? Fucking yes. Is it true? Also yes. Maybe the biggest fuck me of coming to this stupid ass existence. Hence the old saying, life isn't fair. It wasn't set up to fucking be fair. And yes, there are times when spirit can intervene, but the problem is that sometimes it also requires them to intervene in regards to other people, and sometimes for what they can't. We don't operate in a vacuum. There is a choice to be had. There's a choice. Again, an intuitive one. At a soul level, you have a choice right now. To return to happiness, to return to joy, optimism, faith, to allow your childlike essence to come back out and live life from this perspective, so that you can then become the King of Pentacles, the person that not only has the capacity, the internal mastery over things, but also is able to execute and exercise mastery over their external environment, how their life unfolds. It's not enough to be the Queen of Pentacles, to have the capacity within to do it all. It is time to do it all. But you have to allow yourself to get out of the Five of Cups energy and move into the Six of Cups. I wish I could shout this from the fucking mountaintop. Do you know how many people are listening to the spiritual community and they are stuck because of this understanding? Like there's something greater. There's no honor in martyrdom. There's no sense in continuing this suffering for no fucking reason. This is also why I tell people you can heal. This idea that we're constantly healing, no the fuck we're not. If you choose to have a perpetual wound, that's on you. You can heal. And you can move the fuck on. Otherwise, why is the Six of Cups here? Why does it even exist? The moon. The human holding back, the human's demand and desire for something to make sense. It's almost as if this right here, like somebody just needed to hear this. Because it makes make sense. There isn't an answer to why. There may be to some things, but not others. That sometimes you are at the crosshairs of everybody else's timeline and their karma. And sometimes I got to be honest with you, I had this conversation with my group the other day where I was like, I was told there was a time when before, here's the thing. I started getting a download way back in like the end of 2019. It was December of 2019. And I kept getting this download that I needed to move, that I needed to, and it kept giving me February. And I even talked about it with Paula, my friend. And she goes, I've been feeling I need to move too. She goes, so February. So we both put something in our calendar. And I couldn't understand why. It didn't make sense to me. And I was just kind of like thinking, okay, well, something's going to happen. And no, it was a warning. It was, but I didn't have any, guess what happened in February of 2020? The fucking pandemic hit. My last chance to get out of my situation was February of 2020. And they were like, you might want to move. They gave me a heads up. I didn't really know how to. I didn't think I had the means. I was like, okay, like what? It felt like it came out of nowhere. In March, we went down on lockdown. And I was stuck. Jobs, all kinds of things were like messed up as a result. I couldn't go anywhere, couldn't get out anywhere. People weren't leaving their homes. We had this moratorium on evictions, so everybody got to stay no matter what. Like this whole cascade of things just fucking happened. And by the time we got to a safe space in 2020, where we were still in the pandemic, but maybe this could happen. I couldn't, because my father got so ill that he was bedridden. He got so ill that I was constantly picking him up off of the ground. He got so ill that when my son would go down the street to stay the night with his friend, I had to call in the middle of the night to him and his friend to come and help me pick my father up off the ground because he couldn't get up out. He was like, it's like his body went on lock. He couldn't get up out of his chair. It was 24-hour care. My mom couldn't do it. It was on me. I would go lay down on my bed shaking at how much trauma to my physical body it was, how exhausting it was. And I remember just going, I couldn't leave. I was in the crosshairs of everybody else's karma and all the situations. And there was no, And then my dad started deteriorating. The end of 2020, it was like downhill. 2021, February of 2021, my father passes. The very next month, my mother has an infection so bad, they think that she's going to die from it. She's having emergency surgery and she's having a port put in, and I'm up in the middle of the night giving her medicine through her. Like it was one thing after a fucking another. They tried to warn me, but it just fucking happened. The way shit just unfolded, it just, as unfair as it was. And as a result, like the longer I went without a job, the harder it is to get a fucking job. And then the economy, it's like, it's not you. It's not you. It's the crosshairs of everything that happened. Maybe had I understood the severity, right? Or understood, my human mind couldn't conceive and understand, right? And I'll be honest with you, if they had told me that a pandemic was coming, I probably been like, oh, I'm making some shit up in my head. Oh my God, I'd ignore the shit out of it. So they're trying. I was aware. I got a calendar reminder in February. And I remember sending a text message to my friend. I know where we were. I have that. We were at a Japanese restaurant, sitting in a booth having sushi. I remember everything. That's when you know something was something. Every detail stuck with me. Okay, guys. I sent her a text message. She goes, oh my, and we didn't put the same day. We weren't necessarily putting the same day there, but we put in like I just happened to text her. Like, I feel like a week before I'd gotten the alert, and I was like, oh, I know, I'm supposed to, you know what I mean? And it's like, I sent her a text, and she goes, oh my God, today I just got an alert on my phone about that. It's so weird that the day I chose to text her about it, you know what I mean? And it's kind of like my life took this snowball. And then when my mom started getting well, I spent the entire summer, I was exhausted at such a soul, mental, emotional, physical level. When I finally moved out of the house, we sold the house. Like, I had to get it all ready and prepared. I was the only one packing up a house that housed items for 40 years. My body was still trying to give out on me when I got to my new place. And after going through all of that trauma, trying to come out of it in a time when the economy is shitty as all get out. Like, it's just, it wasn't something that I did. It wasn't something that Spirit could just easily pull me out of. I was in the midst of so much, like, I was stuck. And I was in a place where I had to weather it. There's a need to move, like, for your soul to move beyond that. Does that make sense? Like I feel like at a deep soul level, otherwise your life will be characterized, plagued, and marked by you being the bystander of everybody else's shit. You have to cultivate this ability to move on, to love the self, so that it's easier to let go and move on, so that you're constantly making decisions, not because your mind hasn't gotten an answer yet and it needs information, it needs this. No, it wasn't right, it wasn't fair. You're okay. It wasn't right, it wasn't fair. I just feel like people need to fucking share this one. Somebody needs to hear this fucking message. Intuition is marked by the moon. It's a very soulful card. It is also the card of your subconscious, your deep psyche. And it's almost as if it's like your subconscious needs to hear this. Your subconscious is so used to fighting for justice, whatever that looks like to you. It's like, no, I want an answer. And this is it. This is the answer. And I am sorry if you have been held in place because you have fucking listened to people say this bullshit to you. Of you chose this. The idea that absolutely everything is predetermined, so there are no coincidences prior to coming here, and absolutely everything is that negates the entire possibility of self-determination and free will. But these same people will say, no, you have free will. Which is it, motherfucker? Which is it? Because you can't have both based on the concepts that you described. It's moving beyond your subconscious dictating how you do things. It is allowing your soul to lead right now, because your mind is heavily influenced by that. It is letting go. It's the mind letting go. And there's just something about this message that's going to, even if you conceptually understand this, I feel like it's meant to reach a subconscious level and release something. Because when you take care of your soul, you nurture your soul, and you allow your soul, your heart to lead, that is where ultimate joy is. Your soul is yearning to have peace and contentment, because at the heart of the Nine of Cups, the reason it's the wish card, wish fulfillment, is it is true personal contentment. It's true internal happiness, whatever that is for us, and love. And boy, has this transformation been hard on you. We've got the Death card. There's just something about putting that to rest, putting that to bed, alchemizing this sense of need for justice, and realizing your true justice lies in you leading a lot, like this nourishing the soul. You will always get your justice then. You always will. It's not in holding somebody else accountable. It's not in having the answers. It's not in some sense of vindication. It's not in appeasing your mind. It is in nourishing the soul. You abso-fucking-lutely will get your transformation. You will have your rebirth. But you've been fighting it. It's been really difficult. It's been really hard. And I get with this conflict card, like an exceptional amount of anger, like blood boiling inside with the way things have gone, right? And it is about just letting it go. Turning your focus from having the answers, from having some vindication, from having some level of like something making sense, or like somebody paying for something, and just nourishing yourself, loving on the self, constantly choosing, what do I want? What feels good? What, you know what I mean? And allowing that. And that is what is going to move you forward. Chariot card. It will pull you back into alignment, and it will propel you forward so fast. You will be able to leave this shit, this conflict behind. It's time to put it to rest. How do they, and you may be at a place where you're like, damn, I haven't in so long, and I've allowed this aspect of myself, this, thing to kind of like insert itself for so long. I don't know how to. I haven't been really in touch with that part of me for so long. I don't know how to make decisions based upon what my soul wants. I don't even fucking know what my soul wants. I don't even know if I know how to talk to it. I don't even know if I know how to hear and listen to it. Like, really. A minute, too. Hi, Lee. How are you? Wow. Nine of Swords, the Lord of despair and cruelty. This is the replaying of something over and over and over again. This is the experience of something over and over and over again. Caught in that Groundhog's Day that we talked about. Judgment. The last judgment, the judgment card is almost as if there's like some level of calling judgment on this energy. Calling judgment, making a final decision. Being done with something. Being utterly done. You're putting something to bed. You're putting it to rest. You are no longer going to hold yourself in this energy. This is purposeful. This is intentional. Trying to figure it out. Why? Why is it purposeful? Why is it holding yourself? Like, there's something to garner from this. That's why I keep repeating this pattern. What is it? What is it? It's nothing. Literally, the only potential lesson you could get from this is always choose the self. Always live from your heart and soul. You are bound to something like the Devil card. Because you haven't cultivated that enough. It is your key to leaving any cycle, any pain. Your brain has convinced you somehow your peace comes from finding the answer, getting the justice, having a reward for what you went through. Your reward is you choosing you. This shit gets to fucking go away. You're done. You are done. It's time to be done with this. There is not going to be a single, I feel like this is the only answer that will satiate your human, that will unlock your subconscious. And if you're just now joining, you need to go the fuck back and you need to watch this shit in its entirety. Okay? The answer is that there is no good fucking reason. You were in the crossfires and it just fucking happens. And that's one of the hazards of living in this existence. It wasn't you. It wasn't what spirit wanted. It just was. And the sooner you come to that realization, the sooner that your human goes, oh, okay, so that's really real. That I haven't agreed to everything that I experienced down here. That it's not all because of me. That it's not all because, no. Whether or not you stay in that energy, that's on you. It's time to start anew. New beginning. Walk away from this shit. Anything that causes this is a big fat fucking red flag. If you are stuck in this energy, you're going the wrong fucking way. Now, that doesn't mean like, oh, I shouldn't do this because I'm afraid of it. No, you're doing something wrong if you're constantly in this fear state. This is making sense now. I kept picturing, I don't know why they were doing it. I was on, when I'm driving dropping my kids off. They were showing me, that Charlie Brown character that has the dirt and he always constantly has that cloud around him. It's that. It is that. Because you stay in that energy until you have the right, here's your answer. Not what you fucking expected. Not what you expected, huh? I just heard it's time to get your ass back to building. We've got the 3 of Pentacles. Like, you have had your life on pause for too motherfucking long. It's time to get back to building the life that you want, that you desire. It's like getting in charge, making decisions, and making things happen. The King of Swords makes shit happen. This is the last judgment, the final decision. King of Swords does not keep things around that are not, he sees the truth and clarity of stuff. He acts accordingly to that truth and clarity. You're getting truth and clarity right now. Act accordingly. Make a concerted effort to find out what it is that your soul wants, what makes you happy, and do it every single day. And at first, it may feel foreign to you. You don't know. But soon, it'll make sense. This feels good. This feels right. Get back into your fucking body and out of here. Your body will tell you. This is your sensor. It senses things both etherically, okay, and 3D. All right? This is where you feel everything. This is where the truth lies. Your body will tell you. You just out of practice for a little bit. And then you choose that, and you choose that. You love on yourself. I don't care what it requires. If somebody plays on your PTSD and they trigger it all the time, get the fuck rid of them. If you suddenly feel really good when you don't have them in your environment, done. If you did, it's like it'll make sense. But if I do this every single morning, I go out and I sit on my porch with my coffee and I watch the sunrise or I listen to the birds, there's just something different about the entire day. And if I do this, like everything, set up your life to reflect you, to love you, as eccentric as that may get, or as minimal as it may be. But when your cup is full, it is so much easier to let the fuck go. Because it won't be the last time that you're in the crosshairs of other people's timelines. The sooner you cultivate this, as shitty as it may be, remember, the only person responsible for your happiness and your healing is you, no matter who caused what. Nobody else can do it for you. So you constantly choosing you, loving you, living from your soul. And the quicker your human recognizes, oh shit, this is the way to go. I'm actually happier. My health is better. My mental health is better. Holy shit. But you're going to have to start doing that for your human to recognize that. Because up until, it's like something new. It's like the ego's the only point of reference is that from which has already happened in the past or that it's been programmed with. It can't conceptualize the future in different paths. You have to integrate that. You have to embody that. So you need to choose. There's your expansion. Fucking 3 of Pentacles is all about expansion. All about it. You need to choose that. You need to choose it. King of Swords doesn't fucking waffle. You have all the information now. This reading tops it off, okay? This reading tops it off. Something is going to break loose. That subconscious whatever. Something makes sense in this to your human. It's as if you were given the release. Like you're so tied to whatever concept you believed. And as soon as you let it go, you feel free to choose this, to expand. Sorry. This incessant wall and protection and protect it, like going to battle. Nine of Wands is beyond choosing the self and protecting the self and standing in your power. This is like almost to the point of living life on the defense. Or trying to constantly be in the offense, like you're in your mind so much trying to whatever. It's creating a wall around you just to survive. And they're like, it like this level of battle you've been going through has kept you in a time out. And it's time to end that. You need to be more cautious about this stagnation and timeout than you do anything else. See, you would think that I would learn my lesson about plugging in my computer. It is like a theme for me. There's times I sit down and realize I don't have my camera in. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, sorry. Oh. Well, welcome, Andrew. Or Andrea. I don't know. Some people. Well, good. I'm glad your body's reacting to this. I mean, you know, the Sun and the Ace of Wands. It's like this. The Sun will like. Here comes the sun. It's time to live. And you remember in the beginning, I said somebody needs to get out in the sun and the sun needs to hit them. They need to sunbathe. There's just something about burning away certain energy and rejuvenating somebody. So the sun's coming out too, by the way. Somebody needs to get into the sun. Ace of Wands. This is your spark for life again, coming back. You need to come back online. Sorry. We'll take this one. The others can go back. We don't do books around here. Okay. We got the Knight of Swords. This is a swift change and a swift this is a 180. This is the utter complete removal of something. This is like the pivot that you need. It's the trajectory change, and it's fast. And it's saying finito, which is like final. So I guess that's why the last judgment is here. It's like the final decision, the final choice. I don't know. Everything feels like it's a I'm just going to repeat, right? I don't feel like anything's going to add any value like any other decks. Like they're highlighting some and I'm like, you're just going to say exactly what I just said. I can already tell. But The counter was stuck. Like the counter on YouTube usually like just keeps going, and it was stuck. It said 10010. It was stuck at that. I just keep hearing, here comes the sun, do 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 do. Here comes the sun, little darling. It's time to step out into the sun. It's just time. You stay where you're at with your mind trying to get some level of understanding, some level of like, this has to be it. I'm telling you guys, if you came in late, you need to go. We started hot and heavy right from the get-go. The message was just like right with the first card, and you need to go watch that because everything else is built on that. So make sure that you go back and watch the beginning of it, because there is no lesson to be had. Okay? There is no lesson other than choosing you, which you already fucking knew. It's just time to do it. There's no real reason. You've been through some of the shit you've been through. You're in the crosshairs of other people and their shit, their timelines. It's the wrong place at the wrong fucking time. And sometimes that happens because guess what? Sure, there's times where it's like, if I was further along my timeline, if I had chose differently, but you didn't, right? And you made choices based upon what you had at that moment in your evolution. And you just so happen to land right in the crosshairs of other people and other bullshit, and you got pulled into it, and it put you on a detour of some sorts, and as a result, the only person that could pull you out was you. And yes, it took you didn't understand. Like there wasn't anything massive or magical that there's a real whatever reason. There's probably not going to be anything that will make your mind feel like, oh, but what about this? The only thing Spirit has to say is sometimes shit happens. And if you get to a certain point when shit happens, no amount of Spirit telling you something, like the example I gave of you need to move by February, is going to fucking make sense or get you out of it. You're going to feel confused and you don't understand, and you're paying attention to the things that happen versus what you should be doing as a result. Choosing you, choosing you, choosing you. You get lost in the confusion trying to find a reason, and then you start taking your timeline on a detour. So that's that. Yep. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and hop off. I hope everybody has a fantastic and wonderful day. I hope this message reaches who it's meant for. I keep feeling like saying somebody should share this with somebody. I'm sure that's for somebody. Because I feel like there's somebody that's not watched that needs to hear this. So, I mean, obviously somebody needs to be open to these kinds of things, you know what I mean? So, use your own discernment. But, all right, guys, I hope you have a fantastic, wonderful day, and I will see you later this week.